For many people, the new year means making a promise to do something better. These are usually big goals that will change your life, like getting a new job or finally getting in shape for the summer. But this way of thinking is doomed to fail. Sure, it makes sense to have big picture goals. They give you a sense of direction and help you stay on track. But it can't go on for long. Think about it. If you woke up every day and told yourself, "I need to find a job," it would be hard to handle. You can't just click your fingers and find the right part. If anything, being reminded of your main goal all the time will slow you down. Big changes take small actions. Micro habits, to be more exact. By doing any of the 7 micro habits I'll talk about in this video, you give yourself the best chance of making a good change in your life. With each small habit, you chip away at your goals and cut them into smaller, more manageable bits. Number 1. Planning. When you think about going on vacation, planning probably isn't the first thing that comes to mind. Even if you enjoy planning, it's easy to forget how important it is, not just for a stress-free trip but for life in general. Planning can help you a lot if you want to make big changes in your life for the better. Let's take your daily routine. One thing that makes people not want to work out, especially at the gym, is how long it takes. Think about it. You have to get ready, journey, work out, go home, and then cook a meal. It's not the quickest thing in the world, but with a little bit of simple planning, you can save yourself a lot of time and mental energy. For example, you could pack your bag and get your clothes ready the night before you leave. This is helpful for anything that requires you to get up early. From there, you can plan your workout, so you don't have to worry about which machine to use. Meal planning is a more important step and a good way for everyone to save time. You could cook a bunch of lunches for the week at once, so you don't have to stop and cook during the day. Making the most of your time is a big part of changing your life. When you plan, you get something back. Number 2. Active intervals. Work breaks are very important. Even though the spread caused more people to work from home, some things haven't changed. Even if you're not in an office, you probably use a laptop and are sitting in an office chair. How you take a break can change your life in important ways. At work, it might be tempting to go from sitting at your desk in front of a computer to sitting in the break room and looking through your phone. Even though you have more freedom at home, you're only a few steps away from a couch and TV. Get up and do something instead. This means changing the way you are right now. If you've been sitting at a computer, go for a walk. You should go play with your dog or stretch. To get back on track, you need to make as many changes as possible to your environment and state. After all, we're just people. We can't work for 9 hours straight, and if you always do the same thing, your body won't know when it's time to stop. Taking a break to refuel, even if it's just for 10 minutes, is an important part of trying to change your life. Number 3. Select the proper water bottle. Everyone knows that drinking more water is good for you. After all, it keeps you living. Still, people often forget about it because thirst isn't the first thing that comes to mind when they're busy with other things. You could set alarms to remember you to drink water, but there is a better way. Think of your water bottle as a friend you can trust. You may have friends or family, but a water bottle can go anywhere with you and always help you when you're thirsty. How you drink water can change a lot based on what kind of bottle you have. For example, bottles with straws are very popular right now because they are so easy to use. Since you won't have to lift your head up and over to sip water, it will become a habit over time. Still, it's the little things that matter. Number 4. Learn to use a playlist's power. We hear music everywhere. Every feeling has its own song. No matter if you're running through a field of flowers like Shrek or setting the mood for a study session, music has the power to make you feel something. By putting your music into different tracks, you can choose the type of music you want to listen to instead of always looking for songs. Don't forget that changing your life is mostly about saving time, which you can use better elsewhere. Number 5. Daydreaming. How do micro habits work? The name says it all. If it's too hard to start, you're much less likely to stick with it. Because of this, micro habits should be as simple and easy to do as possible. There might not be anything easier than thinking. Even though kids might get in trouble for it at school, it can be a very useful tool. So don't think that thinking is a waste of time. It's time to think. Take J.R.R. Tolkien, who wrote The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit series. People say that while he was marking papers as a university professor, he daydreamed about Middle-earth and everything else. J.K. Rowling, who wrote the Harry Potter books, was thinking on a train and saw a boy with spots and a scar on his head. Most of the time, daydreaming isn't worth remembering, but it can lead to beautiful ideas and is good for imagination, which is a tool that everyone should use if they want to change their lives. Number 6. Ask one question to yourself. There's one saying we've all likely heard: if you don't ask, you don't get. It is so well known because it is true. But it can be hard to ask in the first place. Start by simply asking yourself, what's the worst thing that could happen? In many situations, the worst that can happen is to hear no. I'm here to let you know that's fine. The word no isn't bad in and of itself. It's the bad things people say about it that hurt it. If the worst thing that could happen is being told no, then you have nothing to lose by trying. Number 7. Analyze your own behavior. No one likes an overbearing boss. A lot of people know that annoying person who is always looking over your shoulder at your work, but this doesn't mean that. You can learn a lot more about your behavior if you look at it on a small scale than if you don't. So let's say you put things off more than you would like. When you look more closely, you might find that you put off doing something because you are afraid it won't amount to anything. By not doing it, you keep from getting turned down. You can make changes if you know that. For example, you might decide to break up jobs into smaller parts so you can feel like you've done something. Because of how they look at it, many people have trouble with microanalysis. You shouldn't hate yourself just because you know you have some bad habits. Instead, it's an opportunity to learn and grow. The less space there is, the better. If you spend less time trying to make up for mistakes you made because you didn't plan ahead or didn't learn from them, you'll have more time to look at the bigger picture. If you remember one thing from this video, remember that big important changes don't happen quickly, and it's rare that just one thing will make a difference. Small micro habits, on the other hand, help you make good changes that are easy to do and that when added up make a big difference. James Clear made this idea famous all over the world with his best-selling book Atomic Habits. Throughout the book he says that the biggest reason people don't reach their goals is that the way to get there is confusing and scary. Micro habits take away your fears and give you power over your future. Thank you for watching and have an awesome week.